What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about the LCS and why the worst region in League of Legends history should be excited for the future.
Up and do their thing. Nexus turret number 1, almost going to be taken down. Nice pull! Through goes Legendary. Impact will not find anybody there with the cannon ultimate. IG are now in a 4 versus 5. Victor ultimate going to be keeping Core JJ away. Redemption coming down, keeping everybody topped off. Still looking to maybe find this fight. Xmithy's going to be put to sleep, but Jackie's going to be put on the ground. Double goes Legendary. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Liquid will do it. Haters, be silent. Expectations, be damned. One of the biggest moments in League of Legends history as Team Liquid take down the reigning world champs.
Sadly, it's been a long time now since North America as a region has been competitive at all on the international stage. There is a very real argument that NA has never had a competitive international team that was a real threat to the teams of the East. But I believe that times are changing in the LCS and that things are looking up for the region as a whole. In fact, from watching this split, I believe there is a lot to be excited about for NA fans. The first reason to be excited is that I believe one of NA's biggest issues, culture gap, is finally changing. Now, while this is a phrase that has definitely been used before, I believe there's actually a different meaning than the one that is commonly thrown around. I believe the biggest difference between NA and every single other major region for the longest time has been their mindset. From my perspective, many of the top teams in NA go to international events with their fans with the expectation to lose. I believe that we as a community have unfortunately become okay with losing at international events, especially to Eastern teams, and that is not a recipe for success. It almost feels like we're beating ourselves before we even get to the tournaments. And many times it feels as though the individuals on the teams are simply playing for a loss that they believe will inevitably come. This becomes a real problem because it prevents us from improving and bridging the gap that does exist between ourselves and the Eastern teams. The more mistakes we make, the faster we can improve on them and the faster we can bridge the gap. In fact, I think that the rise of the LPL shows a lot of evidence to this. And lucky for the LCS, we have 3 up-and-coming teams that are taking the league by storm, making mistakes, and improving at an incredible rate. I believe that these teams will bring about a new era in North American League of Legends, causing the fall of the teams who attempt to play perfect and the rise of the teams playing for improvement.
The last 2 turrets, Evil Geniuses, will tie T1 in the standings. 4 and 3 with 1-1 head-to-head. Evil Geniuses finally get their first win over a Pool 1 team.
The first team I want to talk about is, of course, the golden child of the LCS, Evil Geniuses. It seems like most NA fans are already excited about EG, but I think it's important to talk about why we should be so excited about this team. The first and most obvious reason is that the majority of the players on the team are NA talent, and they keep improving as individuals as the years go by. The most obvious example is Jojo Pyun, who is one of my favorite players to watch at the moment, not only because he's one of the best players in our league, but also because of his mindset towards the game. He is a clear example of a player who fully believes in his own ability to eventually beat the best Eastern teams and players out there, and his confidence is infectious. Despite a somewhat disappointing MSI, he continues to back himself to be one of the best one day and is dramatically improving. A good example of this is the jump that EG made from the regular season to playoffs and also from last split to this split. The team as a whole keep improving, and there's no telling what the limit is for them. Add Danny, another young NA player who keeps getting better, improving his originally poor laning skills and his already strong team fighting, and you can see why people are already so excited about this team. This is all while having a jungler who, in his own words, is a prodigy seeking to become a legend. And that player has already accomplished being an LEC MVP, winning an LCS title, and going to 3 different international tournaments, all at the age of 20. You can see there's definitely a lot of young talent on this team. To cap it all off, the more veteran players on the team are some of the best and hardest working players that the league has ever seen, with Impact being arguably the most consistent LCS player of all time, and Vulcan vowing to be the greatest support ever to play in the LCS by the time he retires. It's clear to see that Evil Geniuses are a team to look out for right now, but also for the future.
Yep, he can take the wave. It's going to be a 3v2. Connor's going to be safe. Body slam, though. Oh! Takes the body. This is it. CLG are going to get everything that they ever wanted.
feel like I have to start off this section admitting a little bit of bias here. I've been watching LoL Esports since Season 1, and the entire time CLG has been my favorite team. With that being said, I still believe that this team is part of the bright future that NA is building for themselves. With the addition of Dokla this split, CLG flipped from being a bottom 2 team up to the top of the standings. For me, I could see a lot of potential in this team, even in the last split, but first, I want to talk about Dokla. Dokla has done what many fans, analysts, GMs, and coaches all thought was impossible. At the age of 25, Dokla has come back not only from academy, but from the amateur scene to become one of the better top laners in the LCS. Depending on where CLG finished at the end of the split, I think he should be in serious conversation for MVP voting. If you look at the incredible turnaround that he spearheaded at CLG, I think it's hard not to put him in the conversation. And I believe that he made this turnaround happen not just with his play in the top lane, but also with his mentality. In his first interview after rejoining the LCS, he named his mentality as the biggest difference between his debut and his play now. And I believe that it shows.
You said, though, that you're a different player since the last time we saw you. If you could kind of nail it down to one change, what do you think the biggest thing has been?
Confidence is, I think, the biggest thing, probably. I think when I was back in LCS, I didn't really have too much confidence. Like, I would be confident, but it's not like showing in my gameplay that I would like to have. So now I think, just play to win instead of play to not lose.
You can see the confidence he has in himself, not only in the champions that he picks, but also in the way that he plays. And I think it's something that aspiring LCS players should be trying to replicate. As for the rest of CLG, I think that many of them were promising players to begin with, as seen in flashes last split. But with the addition of Dokla, players like Luger and especially Palafox are really coming into their own. With big wins over EG, TL, and C9, where in all 3 games CLG was playing incredibly well, the team definitely looks to be on the rise. Add on top a rejuvenated Contrast and Poon, who plays incredibly well with Luger in the bot lane, and CLG are a team for the future.
The LCS Championship is going to be home to a new team, the 5th to ever hoist an LCS trophy, and it's 100 Thieves. Who here to start the dive? You can hear the cheers behind us. 100 Thieves rule the LCS.
The last team I'm going to be talking about are a team that I think deserves to be here, but also a team I think we need to see more from. They are a team who previously looked as though they hit a wall, but this split have found incredible success and look like they're improving again. And I believe that as individuals, they have the fire and desire to improve, and they could potentially even compete internationally. I am of course talking about the rejuvenation of 100 Thieves. In the previous splits, it seemed that 100 Thieves were a bit one-dimensional, and while talented, they made a lot of mid and late game mistakes that were carried by the great early game. But this season, they proved the doubters, myself among them, wrong by switching up their style and proving they can improve and play different ways, and are doing it very well. This split they've shown that they can play aggressive, but they can also play for scaling, and they can make good mid-game decisions as a team, as well as finding the right fights, and honestly, they're looking scary. We have to remember that this is still a younger team, and in their first international event, while they didn't wow anyone, they definitely still took care of business against the teams that they were supposed to beat. Even before this split, I would have said that they are a team who wasn't afraid to try things in order to improve, but now the improvement is truly showing itself. With one of the best mid-jungles in the league and the best coach to ever coach in NA, it's hard to bet against the Thieves the way that they're currently playing, especially with Someday being back in top form and the bot lane improving and doing better and better than they did last split. I think that if 100 Thieves continue on their improvement trajectory, they can be one of the better teams that NA has ever had. Although we are still a long ways away from competing for a world title, I think that we as a region are definitely taking steps in the right direction. If even more teams can try and replicate the success of these 3, and if we continue to improve and work on it, then I believe that eventually NA could even become the best region in the world. Hey guys, Dyer here. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more like it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It actually means so much to me. And if you want to talk about it, then you can leave a comment or find me on Twitter at DyerWarningBH.